what if the absolute hardest thing you will ever have to do in your entire life is just, well, absolutely nothing?
Right, which sounds impossible.
Because we live in this era of the hustle. You know, like if you want something, you're supposed to manifest it, advocate for yourself, and just aggressively manage every single detail of your calendar.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when you open up Eastern spiritual philosophy, you run into this massive collision with those modern ideals of total autonomy.
Yeah.
Today, we're actually looking at a deeply serene composition by Guru Arjan Devji. It's found on page 828 of the Guru Granth Sahib.
Okay.
And it forces us to ask this terrifying question for anyone used to being in charge, which is, what happens when you completely surrender your mind and body to the divine?
Okay, let's actually unpack this, because my first instinct is to just fight that idea completely.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I tried to micromanage a family vacation itinerary last week down to like 15-minute bathroom breaks, and I nearly had a total meltdown. Yeah, so true surrender just sounds impossible. And the text starts with a metaphor that immediately challenged me. It frames the human soul as a child and God as a merciful father.
Right, so the Punjabi line is Hambartum Pitaa Kirapaal, which is, I am your child, you are my merciful father.
Okay, got it.
It paints this picture of ultimate reliance, you know. But the text actually pushes it further.
Yeah.
The seeker explicitly admits to being niragun.
Niragun.
Yeah, which directly translates to being worthless or, like, completely without virtue.
See, I have a massive problem with that translation. Worthless.
I know, it sounds harsh.
In a modern society where we actively preach self-worth and empowerment and, combating imposter syndrome, telling a listener they have no virtues just sounds incredibly toxic.
Right.
How are we supposed to reconcile that without feeling like this text is just demanding low self-esteem?
Well, it's a completely valid reaction if you look at it through a modern psychological lens. But consider the causality of ego here.
Okay, how so?
In the context of divine greatness, claiming you are niragun isn't about self-loathing. It's actually an ego death.
Oh, interesting.
When a toddler stands next to an astrophysicist, they don't have imposter syndrome about not knowing quantum mechanics, right?
Right, they just accept it.
Exactly. They simply accept their inherent limitation. So, acknowledging your own worthlessness in this specific spiritual context is just a mechanism to drop the heavy armor of the ego.
Dropping the armor.
Yeah, it's stating my soul, my body, my property, I mean, none of it is actually mine to control.
So it's less like I'm terrible and more I'm relieved I don't actually have to hold up the universe.
Precisely.
But if I'm adopting the mindset of a limited child who, as the translation says, cannot understand the divine's actions, wait, how do I get my needs met?
That is the big question.
Right. If I don't advocate for myself, who does?
Well, what's fascinating here is the psychological mechanism the text uses to resolve that exact anxiety. It introduces the concept of antaryami,
Antarian?
the inner knower. The text reads, Anavalit hi janahu, meaning, you know even what is unspoken.
Wow. I mean, think about how exhausting it is in your daily life to just constantly explain yourself.
Oh, so exhausting.
You have to convince your boss you're working hard, convince your partner you care, convince your friends you're struggling, to realize there might be an entity that just, already knows.
Yeah. That realization is the catalyst for the next phase. Knowing that you are deeply, intimately understood without having to utter a single word of justification.
Yeah.
It completely removes the friction of self-advocacy. And when that friction vanishes, the seeker achieves a state called seedal.
Seedal. The text translates this as being completely cooled and soothed. That is such a visceral word.
Because the spiritual becomes physical here. When you stop burning calories trying to manipulate the universe and loudly explain your needs to an antaryami who already knows them.
Your nervous system literally cools down.
Exactly. The heat of constant striving just dissipates. But the crucial part is how you actually access this cooling. It's not a reward for frantic, agonizing prayer.
Which again defies our conditioning. We think peace is this wage we earn through intense meditation or doing like 100 yoga retreats.
Right, but the text clearly states this ultimate peace is granted instantly through Nadhar Nihal,
The glance of grace.
the glance of grace. By surrendering the illusion of control and admitting you are niragun, you hollow yourself out. You create the empty space required to actually receive that glance of grace.
Making room for it.
Exactly. You can't receive a gift if your fists are tightly clenched around the steering wheel.
Wow. Yeah. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? It suggests that true peace, that real cooling of the mind, doesn't come from finally getting everything organized and articulated.
Not at all.
It comes
Right.
from trusting an inner knower enough to just stop fighting.
It's a radical alternative to the exhaustion of modern autonomy.
It really is. Which leaves you with this to ponder. If the divine is truly antaryami and already knows the deepest unspoken condition of your heart, is spiritual devotion actually about communicating what you need?
That's a great question.
Or is it simply the practice of quieting your own mind just enough to finally feel that glance of grace?